Did you ever see it as there would be a distinct profession of mediators, separate and apart from therapists or lawyers?
No, I never did see that. I
never
always
did
thought
see
there'd
that.
be organizations of mediators.
Okay, so an organizations to support what people did in addition to what they otherwise did, but not necessarily, and still it sounds like somewhat constructively, but nonetheless skeptical of the idea that we can create this separate business, profession of mediation.
Yesterday at this conference I went to the research section, and they were having a discussion of what their identity was as researchers. I had never gone to their meeting before. And there was a room full of maybe 30, 40 people. And I asked the question, what do you all have in common here? And they said, well, we're all researchers. Most of us are academics. And we think it's important that researchers be part of the Association for Conflict Resolution to get rid of people coming up with conclusions about what they're doing that are false, that have no database, that have no empirical evidence that what they're doing makes any sense at all. And we're trying to legitimize things and validate things, and that's what we're going to do. And I said, well, what does a section do? What do you do here? And if you can imagine yourself 3 years from now as a research section, what do you picture yourself talking about in 3 years? And they were all kind of stumped for a while, and then they said, well, I guess we talk about we need to get a researcher in every group, and we need to consult the people and tell them how to do research, and we need to get people concerned about the validity of what they're doing and kind of share our experiences. So I asked, what do you all do? And they talked about this completely different group of, one's an academic studying organizational policy, another's a family mediator out in the trenches, another works for some government organization helping them analyze data. And they were all doing very different things. They did have in common, they all liked research, but I pointed out research is a method, not a content area. So what do you all have in common that you're called a section? And they said, well, you're right, it is a method, but that's what we have in common, it's a method. And I thought that's kind of what we're doing as mediators. We all have a method of intervening, but we're all intervening on very different content. Lawyers are dealing with the financial and the property settlement. The therapists are dealing with the emotional communication aspects and the children. But we all share, we're trying to help people settle disputes. That's our method. But beyond that, I don't know that we can blend the content of what we're doing in any meaningful way to form one profession.